Hey guys, welcome to our podcast where it has to be said. My name is Elvis.
And I'm Elise.
Well, guys, it's official. The first time I get to record with my daughter. So I'm excited. I'm nervous. And I'm pretty sure she's upset because she doesn't want to be next to me right now recording. Um, but yeah, Elenice, talk to me. What's going on?
Oh, I don't know. I'm doing good.
I'm excited. It's right before Father's Day. Is right before her birthday. So we get to have a little chat. So, what are we gonna talk about today? Do you remember what we said we were gonna talk about? Yeah,
Communication.
yeah. So if you hear a little bit of noise in the background, I apologize. The family's getting home. We're recording this live.
Yes.
Okay. What about communication?
Um, just us talking each other. Not like talking, like talking how we feel.
Okay.
If like there's a problem, we communicate it. Learning how to communicate in that type of way.
Okay. Okay. Let's go a little bit back. You think our relationship with you has changed within the past few years as far as us having a better communication with you?
Yes.
Yes, in what way? Give me like an example. What you think we improved in?
I think
What areas in particularly?
I think we improved in how we talk to each other, how we
Okay,
tell each other like if something's wrong. I mean, I think I'm not one of the best communicators. I don't communicate as much, but I think I worked on that a little bit.
mm-hmm.
Not as much. I mean, I don't communicate a lot, but a lot more than I did before.
It's crazy because that's what you say here, but then in school we get phone calls that you were talking a lot in school. So it's like, yo, like you don't want to talk in the house, but in school you don't want to stop talking.
No, like I think I talk both a lot.
Yeah, I think when there's a topic particularly that you like, that's
I
when you don't stop talking at all. Like, let's just put a perfect example. If it's something you want, you're just gonna keep on talking about it and
I mean,
giving me
of
examples
course.
and stuff like that. So I think it's more interest.
Yeah.
It's not about not liking to talk. It's just if it's something that's boring or it doesn't cause you like have attention to it, you're like, I don't even want to talk about it. Like the podcast, for example. We got a lot of good feedback that people liked when you were in the podcast and you were able to have these conversations. Um, but you don't necessarily see as something you enjoy yet, right?
No.
Yeah. So, well, we have you here. So, let's talk about those communications. I think we improved throughout the course of the year. There was a lot of times where, um, talking about what we were talking about in our last episode. If you didn't watch it, make sure you look at that video. We're talking about the silent treatment. You think we give you the silent treatment?
Yeah. Um, it depends.
You can be honest.
Because silent treatment depends where the context comes from. Because
Okay.
silent treatment can mean that silent treatment, like you're not talking to them or you're avoiding the situation, which I think both of my parents do, and like they have their own silent treatment. Like my dad, when we have an argument, he'll he'll just act like nothing's wrong, like he'll just avoid it, like
Like
he
who had an argument? Us or
like when
me
when like
and
if we have an argument, you'll
like
act
all
like
three of us or just you?
it could be all three of us or just me,
And
and you'll act like nothing
what you
happened.
mean act like nothing happened? Like
Like
give an example.
like
What would I
okay,
do? Let's
like
just say we had an argument right
let's
now.
say we had an argument about something and like okay, 10 minutes I stop talking because I don't feel like arguing anymore. He'll well I'll see each other and he'll say like a joke and start laughing on himself like we were like he'll not mention the argument at all. Like if nothing happened. And then mommy's different that mommy will not talk to you when she gets angry. She'll get angry and then 15 minutes later she'll be like, I was a little out of pocket. So I'm like,
I know you get that one a lot.
yeah, it's just like you too.
No, no, no. I have
No,
never said that to
no,
you.
no. I'm talking about like you.
Stay next to the mic.
Oh,
Yeah.
like you'll act like nothing's wrong, and it gets me so annoyed. I think that's one of the like the worst things.
Well, it's not worse because it's like we spoke about this in the podcast before, not necessarily about you, but just in general. That listen, I put myself mantequilla, how I say, and I kind of let everything slide where I don't want to stay stuck in, okay, we had an argument, we're upset. I don't want to stay stuck in that, because staying stuck in that particular moment where I am upset is not going to take me anywhere. So,
I
in a
under-
sense, it's kind of a good quality where I'm just like, okay, we had an argument, but let's just kind of, you know what it is? I want to change the mood, right? You're talking about us having an argument, then I start joking around. I'm kind of just trying to change everything and trying to make everybody happy. You may think, oh, he's avoiding, he don't want to talk about it, but it's just, I'm trying to change the mood. I don't want to be arguing. I don't want to be upset. I don't want any of us to be in that situation.
it's like this is my thing. I understand. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. That it is a good thing sometimes, but it's like when somebody is trying to prove their point, you don't listen to them, and then you just change the subject. You have to understand that person's gonna be upset because it's like you're not hearing them out, you're not listening to them, and you're not hearing how they feel. And like when you start joking around, it just makes it seem like to that person that like you're not really like thinking about what they said.
You're your mother's daughter for sure. No, but I don't think necessary is that, think about it this way. If I was to have an argument, let's just say with you, let's just talk about us two, right? And I'm gonna give you a chance to kind of talk about it and defend your side of things all the time. We would always be in an argument.
But
But wait, you spoke, because am I right or am I wrong? You always want to prove a point.
I no. No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
I think you always want to prove a
No.
point, like you are right now.
No.
So you're gonna continue on, but go ahead, explain yourself.
I feel like it's not that I'm not always trying to prove a point. It's just like sometimes like you guys never listen to me. Like
Okay.
I'm not always trying to prove a point, but it's like let's say I'm right about something, you guys won't listen to me about it until like I prove that I was right.
So you think because we don't agree with what you're saying, we're not listening to you?
Yes.
That's
Like
not
it's
true.
just like
We could agree to disagree. Like it's just
yeah, but
small
we're
things.
always agreeing to disagree.
I don't think so. I don't necessarily think so. I think it's the stupidest thing that we have an argument with. Like who moved the chair, who moved the blanket, or
But they
who
always
put it,
blame me.
because you're the big child. So that's what it is. Yeah, you're the big child. But I guess we expect a lot from you sometimes, and a lot of times we kind of have to, like yesterday for example, Alina was off the chart, like she was just bananas, right? And you went downstairs to help me, right? And I was like, just go away. Why? Because I didn't want to tell you anything. It's not your fault that your sister's acting up.
But then I still got in
No, no,
trouble.
no, you didn't get in
by
trouble.
my,
Okay, again, by me, you didn't get in
no.
trouble, right? Your mother told you to come downstairs and
Yeah.
help. I didn't know that. I was dealing with a baby,
Yeah.
and I didn't want to get you involved because a lot of times we get caught up with, oh, the baby's acting up, so let me let
You
me
guys yell
push
at me.
you. Yeah, no, and I try to avoid that. You may not see it that way, but I'm just being completely honest. And I think your mother does the same thing too, because it's not fair to you that if the baby's acting up that we gotta put it on you. No, you should have your alone time too, and relax and chill and enjoy and be a teenager and have your time. Look today, for example. These boys that want to come to the front of the house and play and stuff like that. Hey, Elenice and stuff. Did I say anything? I was perfectly fine. Go to the front of the house, play, enjoy, have your own time, and just relax. Be a teenager. Like it doesn't bother me. The same way that you were talking about, oh, I want to be dismissive or not listening to you because I'm making jokes and kind of avoiding it. No, I just live my day one day at a time. There's so many other things that we should be stressed about, and I think that we shouldn't put our energy and our effort in things that are not going to put value to our life. And that's it. I think me knowing if we're doing better as parents to you, that's more important to me. Like if I know that we're improving our communication with you, I think it's better. Look, in the past, I know I have given you the silent treatment. I don't think necessarily I give you silent treatment now. I just act like nothing happened. It's completely true. I agree with you.
But it's better
Um,
than the silent. Like
Absolutely, I was
completely.
not getting it. I was being a child by giving you a silent treatment, because I don't know what's going on in your head, right? Because if I just stay quiet, I mean, you're gonna be thinking all types of stuff. Oh, Bobby's upset at me. What are he thinking? Now I'm in trouble. Like that's not what I want to do when I either discipline you or I'm trying to give you a message, right? Because it's not always about discipline. It's about giving you a message right? Because we could just have a simple conversation, and 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 we could and you could probably get mad and we get in an argument and stuff like that. And I just kind of like, hey, listen, don't worry about it. You know, let's just joke around and let's just enjoy. Even the podcast, we're sitting here, we're talking. You know, we say what we have to say, but we want to enjoy at the end of the day
Yeah.
and be able, because if we're not enjoying what we're doing, then why are we doing it? Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So communication, communication, communication. We have to improve our communication, I think, in a daily basis. And I think personally we have improved. I'll give a perfect example. Every time you come from school, do I ask you how was your day at school?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I improved on my answers.
No, you don't stop talking every time I ask you that.
Yeah, but before it was a bad thing. I didn't never say anything.
Yeah, absolutely right. So you would say that communication has to improve not only as parents but also as kids as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Because I think it's unfair to the parent if they're asking you how your day was
Hmm.
and you just say fine. Because then
You used to say that. So, oh, it's fine. I used to get so mad. But go ahead.
like I think sometimes it might be unfair to them because they're just trying to see how your day was and you're just like blocking them out.
Yeah.
Just straight blocking them. But like I mean, I think it's not bad to talk about your day.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to just share what like you won't even remember some stuff and you remember it later and then tell them later how was your day as well. But it's just good to just talk even about the little things that we like
Yeah.
I didn't talk about before. And like I think communication comes from both parts. Both people have to realize that they're lacking
Yeah.
in communication and work on it because that's the first step.
Yeah. So, what would you do? And this is, I'm just throwing a curveball at you. What would you do in an instance where probably the parent never even asked, how was your day? Right? Let's just say I'm a kid and my father, my mother never
Yeah.
asked me, like, how was my day? How would you go about that as a child? How would you be like, hey, listen, like, hey, I'm here, how would you go about that?
Like how I feel or
No, how would you go to talking to a parent, right? Let's just say we never asked you how your day
and
was,
we
right?
never talked
About it,
ahead.
right? How would you go about being able to tell your parent, like, listen,
Yeah.
this is how my day was. Like, I want to talk to you, right? How would you go that way? Because believe it or
I
not,
probably wouldn't.
there's parents out there
Yeah.
that don't even ask their kids how they're doing on a daily by day basis.
I probably wouldn't talk about it.
You wouldn't talk about
If
it,
somebody didn't ask me, no, I wouldn't.
even if it's your parents.
Like and I mean if we already have that structure of not talking about it in general, why
Hmm.
what might you mention it? You
Gotcha.
know, because I think to the kid it would seem like they don't want to talk about it and you don't
Hmm.
want to bore them, so why even mention it?
Gotcha. So if the parent wouldn't ask you at all, like what was going on in your day and stuff like that, you wouldn't mention it at all. And do you
No.
think most people would think that way in your age group?
It depends on the person because I think some people they want to do their best for their parents and you
Hmm.
know if they seem like if a kid feels like they're bothering their parents, they're not gonna want to bother them.
So you would say a
So
big percentage is not gonna want to like talk
no,
to their parents at all, right?
no,
There's no wrong answer here.
no.
I'm
That's
just
I'm just saying if it was me specifically, I wouldn't.
okay.
And I think for people that think like me and that don't want to bother their parents, if sometimes feels like they're a bother, I don't think they would.
Gotcha. That's interesting. You know why? Because I think it's very important for the parents to find out on a daily basis of what's happening with our kids, and and let me and find it amazing. Why? Because if the parent is not asking of, hey baby, how you doing? What was your day? Right? Just a simple conversation, right? Probably nothing happened at all. But I feel like if we as parents don't ask this particular question, our kids are not gonna come up to us and be like, "Hey, listen, my day was like this, my day," because there was never a structure of
Yeah.
having this communication. That's why I asked you. I'm like, wow, we have a good relationship. I feel like we have a great relationship, and I'm not saying everything is peaches and cream and everything is good, but we have a good relationship. And you telling me if it was me, I wouldn't even tell you anything because I feel like I'm bothering you. And I would say the majority of kids within your age group or teenagers in general, they wouldn't go to their parents because they feel like they're a bother as well. You know what? I don't want to bother my mother, my father with this. They probably don't even want to know. And listen, parents, we got to be involved in our kids' lives, right? Because for me, when you come from home, that's the first thing I want to know. I'm asking you, hey, baby, Was there any drama in school today? Right? I'm always joking around like that. Hey, listen, who talked to who? You know, was it a good day, bad day? Because we also have to have the conversation where there's gonna be ups and there's gonna be downs, but we still could talk about it,
Yeah.
right? Where it's all about communication, and I feel like if is at a young age we're not able to talk about this, then we're not growing like how we're supposed to. I mean, I'm supposed to give you one of the best resources, and communication is one of the best resources out there. You know, that's something that you're gonna use in everything in life.
Mm.
When you get married, very later on, when you do your profession, later on, when you go to college, later on, you're gonna have to learn how to deal with these communication skills. And if there's no communication, then it's like, ugh.
Even with relationships,
Yeah.
because you take that on with your relationships as well.
You want to talk about relationships?
We
Oh, this just got interesting, guys. Oh, we need that for another podcast.
can leave that for
You
another
turn red and everything. See,
podcast.
but it's communication. We could sit down, we could joke around about this, right? And have a dialogue about it, right? I'm not supposed to be, what you doing and stuff like that. And you know what? Years back, I think when we were living in the Bronx, I was like that. It was almost like you and me were both rebellious. You wasn't the only rebellious person. I was also rebellious. Yeah, no, it's the truth. I'm gonna be honest, you know. And I was like, no, I'm the boss. And you were kind of other words like, well, I'm the boss too. And you were not necessarily saying it, and I wasn't saying it either. But there wasn't no good communication for us to kind of talk about these different things, right?
Stubbornness.
Yeah, you could say stubbornness from both of us, right? You're my baby girl. So you're gonna have little things from here and there from myself and from your mother. And I can be very stubborn. Sometimes I'm gonna admit it. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's horrible. Um Even date nights. When we go out and like, hey baby, let's just, have some food and stuff like that. If you realize every time we go out, we're not on our phones, we're literally just talking a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And you talk a lot those days that we go out. You cannot, please do not say you don't, because you talk a lot, and we haven't gotten on one in a minute. I think the last time we went was
That was
for
not that
movies.
long ago.
But we went for movies.
Oh,
It
that was not long ago.
I know, but it wasn't like dinner. I feel like in dinner we could talk,
Yeah.
right? When we go to dinner, we could sit down, we could have a dialogue. If
And
we
that
go
was
to the
still
movies,
like a month ago when we got sandwiches.
oh yeah, that was like a last minute type of deal. Yeah, I remember. Oh yeah, you're right. We had the sandwiches, and right after that, a few weeks later, we went to the movies. Yeah, I feel like, listen, if you have kids, if you're married, if you're in a relationship, um, communication is key. You want to try to find out a system to be able to communicate with each other, and don't give your child or your spouse the silent treatment. It
No.
doesn't get you anywhere, right?
No.
Do you have flashbacks of the silent treatments that we gave you before? No.
I will have to I will have to think because
Don't think too much about it.
I think don't look back on how we used to be because it's just like why bring in the past
Okay.
and why focus on that when you could just see how much better we are now.
Okay.
I mean, I think I sometimes think of it when we have arguments and
Okay.
but then I see how much we improve, so I don't
Okay.
think.
Who you think improved most, your mother or myself? I'm joking.
I was gonna say I should answer.
Okay, so go tell,
Ah.
tell them.
I think they both improved because they have different things they've improved on, obviously. And I think, like, when you do something that you've been trying to improve on, mommy will say something that, like, oh, like, you used to do that, like, don't do it no more.
Yeah.
And you'll do the same thing with mommy. So I think y'all both saw that y'all had needed improvements, and me as well, and we have
She is
improved.
smart, man. She is smart. That's smart.
What?
Your mother's gonna watch this video, so you already know. Let me play a balance. So let me ask you a question, because I know we planned a last minute trip. We're going to Puerto Rico to spend some time with my father and spend her birthday over there and whatnot. Do you think that going to the trips to Puerto Rico has also helped us have a little bit more bond and spend time together,
Yeah.
and go back to your culture back in Puerto Rico as well? Do you love Puerto Rico?
Yeah. I think it just feels like home. Like, it's just a different feeling when you're
Yeah.
over there. You just have peace.
Yeah.
Oh, I think, yeah. because it's just us alone. Like, if we got in an argument, it's just us alone. Like, we're stuck together. So yeah, I think
We never have arguments when we go over this. So you'd be like, "Oh my god, so peaceful,"
it is.
because we don't
It's like
argue.
like the cookies. How you say it?
Uh huh.
You
That's how
just
you say.
playing. It's just
So it's the animals
everything.
and stuff that
Like
that.
it's just Puerto Rico.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like you can't describe it. It's another feeling.
I think it's the little things, man, that we're able to do together that, as a father, I mean, I'm just grateful to be able to spend this little times with you. That's why I'm like, hey, listen, when we get sit down and talk about the podcast, even if we talk about, I don't know, the dumbest thing like Legos, which I don't play, but the fact that I could spend this time with you, I mean, for me is everything. And time flies, right? So today you're here and tomorrow you're not,
Yeah.
and you're in college or you're doing whatever you're doing at work as a profession, and I'm probably traveling back and forth still to Puerto Rico and stuff like that. And let's not take these little moments for granted, and just enjoy and communicate whatever message you have to. I think there's one thing that we have done that I enjoyed the most as a father, and is being able to teach you our beliefs in Jesus Christ. And I think that's something that we've been able to communicate with you a long time. Do you think we have able to show you what is it to be the Christian life?
Yeah, but it also comes on the person. Like sometimes they need that push, not from their parents, but
Yeah,
like it's just gonna happen.
got you.
But I think you guys like not forcing me, but really pushing it on me since a child.
Yeah,
It helps me. Like I know a lot of people are not fortunate enough to have that,
yeah,
but I was fortunate enough to have that push to be
yeah.
able to be closer with God even at a young age.
So it wasn't like pushed towards you. We were more putting you in a place where you could get the word of God.
Yes. Like you guys were telling me about it, like, and you guys were teaching me about it, and you guys were open to questions.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, like you guys made it comfortable to talk about it with you
Yeah, and
guys.
you had a whole bunch of questions about it too, about music, about reading the Bible, about how to communicate with God, right? How to
Yeah,
pray, how to seek God, and I think you got a point in your life where you're able to do that without having your parents present. Because
yeah,
sometimes I hear you listening to worship music and reading the Bible. I think you guys are working now and reading the entire Bible, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So that's some stuff that we actually helped you right through the communication with you to be able to encounter your own relationship with God. And I think that um, a lot of times we think about communication, we got to talk about the bad things, but we should also talk about the good things as well, right?
yeah. I agree.
Of course, you agree. So it was a good talk. The first video we I was able to record with my daughter. Hopefully, not the last. And next one we're gonna talk about. You said relationships.
I guess.
I think you guys heard that, right? Relationships. Comment below what you guys would like us to talk about. Not Denise, but Elvis and Elenice. We're gonna be out on a trip in Puerto Rico, but after we come back, I would love to record. We got Father's Day coming in soon. Happy Father's Day to all the
Happy
fathers.
birthday.
Happy birthday to my beautiful daughter. Um, and yeah, so it was a good talk, and it was said.
It had to be said.
Take care, guys.